Oh, now that we're ready to make our notes, again, we're going to get to that from library, fill in notes, and we're going to get to that dashboard here, log in. It's going to maybe log you into the wrong one, so swap it to here. And then we're going to click on create page. And like those titles, we're going to title it Book of John - week 14. And now we're good to start. So I like to pull them to two separate windows. And on your work computer, you should be able to drag it to the side here, like that, and it'll snap it. That's a nice Windows feature. I had to pay $2.99 to buy an app that could do that on a Mac, so here we are. So again, we're going to scroll down. We're just looking for the blue, and I like to just paste everything in, so copy and paste, press enter. Whoop. Sorry, I'm getting text. Copy and paste, press enter. We got this long one. The hard thing is going to be, once we're back in person, we also make printout notes. And so it's okay to have a long block of text like this because it's just digital, and so we don't have to fit it into a certain size. But unfortunately, we're going to have to once we get back to printout notes. So you just keep on copying and pasting. You feel free to click fast forward or do 2x speed on YouTube right now. It's just me copying and pasting. Okay, now you'll see here though, don't miss this. He has this big bold thing, so that's actually going to be one of our headers. And so we're going to format that once we get to that, but let's not forget about that. So, Shiva, I'm just going to press a few more spaces here. Now this you kind of got to look at. So he is comforting her. I think that's because he wants this bolded. So we can highlight that and click on bold. But then you'll notice here on the notes that's the, this is the same, oh actually, okay, yeah, because you can see here, when Mary heard this, she got up quickly, and then here is also verse 29, she got up quickly and went out to him. Now Jesus had entered, so then, yeah, still has 31 up here. So we're going to then start it right here at 32. Does that make sense? So we just don't want to have like a bunch of duplicate text. And I'm going to swap these just because I was there at the sermon recording and I know that he actually did Jesus Wept first. Then we're going to go to here. I am the resurrection and the life. He doesn't usually have this many verses, but this one's kind of going to be a bigger one. Also, I can see that there's a space before all of these, so I'm going to just delete that. And then I'm going to go here also because I was at the sermon and I know that this is where he went. He didn't do these first ones, but that's okay. Usually when we're not like pre-recording the sermon, we'll show this to Rob and he'll kind of look over it. Here you go, take off the grave clothes, and I know that at the sermon he also said, he also bolded grave clothes and let him go, and so we're going to do that. Click on bold. And I know that he didn't actually say that one at the end of the sermon, so that's okay. So now I'm going to expand this, and you can see there's lots there. There are a few different ways that you can format this. You can do it using some of these buttons. Also, if you press these dots, there's a few more options. I'm also going to give you a list of ways to format it that are just like kind of keys you can enter. So I want to make all of these um, bullets, and so I'm just going to do a dash because I know that that'll work quickly. But you could also highlight it and do list, but that's going to give you a 1, 2, 3. So actually, that might not be. Well, yeah, maybe we gotta do that. Okay, so that'll all be one bullet. That's good. We also like to superscript the numbers, and so making those small. So you see how it has this kind of, this is like HTML shortcode. So soup 13/soup. So for the online notes, we don't necessarily have to do this for all of them, because that might take a little too much time, but we'll do it for a few just to show you. But I'm not going to actually do it today because this is a lot of notes. So that would be a little unnecessary waste of time. But when he has just like a few verses, then we would do the superscript. So now I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, it's probably about time that we add a few notes. So we don't have any fill-in today, but here is that long freeform note, and so you can see it's going to make that box here that people can type. So just every once in a while, especially after a main point, even though he doesn't have any like official main points this time, add that note. And so I'm actually just going to copy and paste that. That way I don't have to go up and click. So Thomas says that. I'm just looking through, kind of looking for the next break, and I think that's it. So now we can see there if you scroll down here. And now we're at the practice of Shiva, which I thought was really interesting in the sermon. But we're going to make this a header. And so here's your header options. You can either do, see it makes £1 down here. I actually like £2. It's a little less bold. You can see here. So watch here. This is £1. This is £2. So we like this one. Generally, it kind of just looks a little bit better. Here we have comforting her, and so then I'm probably gonna put a fill-in note here, and actually maybe here. And you'll notice it doesn't necessarily matter how many times I click enter here. See, we're right here, because this is kind of, it's not like we're typing on a Word doc. Like they have their own specific web formatting, and so they're mainly going, the designers are mainly going off of like what we have here. So you're going to keep on going through, press note, add a note in there, Lord, the one you love is sick. And usually there's a more clearly defined way to find out where we should put those long notes, but today, since it's pretty much all verses, I'm just eyeballing it. That's his final point, so we'll want one there, and maybe we'll want one there. So now that you've created it, you can see there's lots of space for people to take notes. I'm going to put one more note fill in there just to kind of break it up. And yeah, so there we are. I didn't add, okay, so I still want to indent all of these and make them a bullet. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm probably going to want to put something after Jesus wept, because we all know that that's a powerful verse there. So you can see that's right there. All right, so there we are. We're done. So what you're going to do is click on Schedule and you're going to schedule it for that Sunday at midnight. That way we know that it'll load, but then also it will not be available in case anybody, I don't know, is trying to look at it beforehand. Then we will also need to go to the page settings, and we could do an author in here, but we don't necessarily need to. So have our publishing settings. We want to schedule it for that date. We also want to make sure that the display date is that Sunday. We don't want it to say like the Friday when you make it, just because we don't want it to. We want it to look authentic. We don't want it to look like, oh, they just like knocked these out and whatever. So we're gonna put the date just so it's not confusing, and make sure that that's the Sunday that's coming up. And then the header style, I like minimal, and you can see on this one. Oh, whoops, sorry. Subsplash will sure have. You can see on the past week's sermon notes. Let's see. So this one is minimal. I like that, how it's just like that. There are some in past weeks that are the full screen. Oh, actually it looks like Lauren got them all. But the full screen just looks like this full page, and it looks kind of weird. So header style minimum, and then we are going to click on share and copy the link. This is what we're then going to put into our actual Subsplash page. So we're going to go back to Subsplash, and we are going to put this in that PDF slot, if you remember, on the, here's the one that we created in that earlier tutorial. So we're going to say sermon notes, and then click on enter URL and paste that URL. Even though it's not technically a PDF, it's still going to show up right. So then you click on save, and now if we go back to subsplash.com/wilshrav, to our media hub, just to view it and see what it looks like, I'm going to click on Book of John. This is this Sunday, and we see sermon notes. That looks good. And oh, it's not scheduled. It's scheduled, so it's not up yet. But at midnight tonight, it's going to be scheduled, and it'll show up there. So that's how you do that.